How you guys doing?
That
Hey,
background
what
with
was
me.
your
Oh,
background?
embraced by the loving arms of your character, Alyssa. How you doing?
Love it.
One of her
So
many
lovely.
children.
I know. Actually, can we start with that? Just I love the fact that even though this is an Evil Dead movie, the base kind of line of this is really about motherhood and kind of the issue, the kind of your characters kind of deal with what that means to them. Can you maybe talk a little bit about that when you kind of got the script and knew that this was really how it was going to propel your characters into, what happens later?
So fun to mess with the idea of motherhood, right? You go.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, you're seeing like both sides of like your worst fear is that it's your mother harming you. And then like as a mother that you're the one harming your kid. Like I love that play on it. And I think that, that's kind of a taboo thing to show up to this point. And credit to Warner Brothers and New Line because they let us do it. And I'm really proud that we didn't pull our punches. I think it's a pretty new thing to see on screen.
Yeah.
Lily, what I think is really interesting is that, I think people just think that horror movies are very easy, but to me, they're almost like action movies. You guys are fit to kind of like handle all yeah. So what was it like to know that that was kind of how did you kind of prepare to enter this world where you knew that every day you needed to be able to deal with all of these things, plus perform on screen, plus be sane, like how was that like for you to kind of approach on a daily basis?
I mean, I would go to the gym before work just to warm up the body. Like I would be there, like I was staying in this complex and I'd be there at like 3:30 in the morning, just being like, we'll be able to lift chainsaw by the end of film. We'll be able to lift it with full confidence as Bruce Campbell would. But yeah, I mean, for me, it was amazing. I love the physicality of this job. I love the idea of, using weapons and living out alt realities that you would never see yourself doing. And it's really rare as a female, I think, to be super physical in roles. And I don't know, it's so energizing to do and also to watch. For me personally, when I watch horror or when I watch action films, I'm like, people doing things that they usually wouldn't.
Well, as the film kind of goes on, Alyssa, I felt really bad for what you physically have to deal with. And like, were there any moments where even you maybe like tied up, dripping in a lot of blood, and you're just going like, so this is my life, like, was there any one of those? Yeah, exactly. How were those like reflective moments?
Oh, look, being tied up, that was fine. The stuff in the elevator, actually, I had a really good time. I love being in harnesses and being thrown about. I did gymnastics and a bunch of like aerial circus arts are in my history. So that stuff I really love. The hardest part I have with it is I had a bad concussion a couple of years ago, so I can get a little motion sick. But it's so much fun to do. The hardest part was the vomit rig. I hated that. Like that was really turned my stomach, but the rest of it was like, it's fun. Like when do you have the chance to do something like that? It's so cool. And you get to be on the inside of making movies. Like that's so cool.